Bonjour! Trois jours à faire le Tour de France. Oui. Ah. Transition. My French counterpart could not have said it any better. 3 days to go now to the Tour de France. It starts in Brussels on Saturday. So excited. So make sure you've subscribed to the channel and hit that notification bell. I know I've said this every single day, but I just want you to be part of it. I just want you to be getting all the information as soon as you can get it. I want you to be part of these videos. I want you to interact with these videos, and I want you to come here for your source of information when it comes to the Tour de France. So let's get into Friday's edition. It's not Friday though, is it, Pritch? It's Thursday. Thursday's edition of the Chris Pritchard Cycling News Show. So yesterday I covered a short story about a programme on Channel 5 that's going out next week called Cyclists, the Scourge of the Street. How about this woman being the scourge of the street? According to the Australian news company 9 News, a Sydney journalist who hit a cyclist with a 350 grand sports car had been sentenced to a year behind bars. Maybe they should retitle that programme Idiots, Scourge of the Streets. And talking of the subject of car drivers being put behind bars, this one is crazy. Viewer discretion is advised when you watch this video. The driver of this BMW was sentenced to only 20 months. In my eyes, this is attempted murder. According to the report, the 29-year-old driver had lost control of the car because he wasn't concentrating. Day was left with multiple fractures as well as brain injuries, and the perpetrator fled the scene. The court heard that Fagan had been in the pub prior to the crash but claims to have drunken only 1 pint of beer, saying he was distracted by his worst for wear passenger. I saw one person on Twitter absolutely disgusted with this, saying, well, basically it's true, you can literally do what you want with your car and there's no repercussions for it. And before you say 20 months behind bars, really that is very lenient for someone who potentially could have been drunk driving, at very least not concentrating where they were going. That could have been a bus stop they hit, that could have been a child they hit, that cyclist could have died. 20 years would be still too lenient for that kind of action. Next up, and even though the sky is blue and it's 21 degrees outside, let's talk about indoor cycling. DC Rainmaker has just uploaded a video about a brand new indoor training platform. The indoor platform is called The Rivet. It's still currently in beta and it's only just been released in beta. You can go and download it. Go and watch the video to find out exactly what you need to be able to do that. One of the interesting parts of this was for the beta launch, the developer actually headed to Twitch and did a 24-hour straight stream of the platform. Insane, crazy. First impressions, from my point of view, it looks all right. They use the Unreal Engine, so the looks are good. I mean, the cyclists' physics are way off, his biomechanics are way off, his seat height is too high. But that's not to say that it doesn't look good. As Ray says, it's not a Zwift competitor because of the early stage it's in, but he's a lot kinder to it than he was CV Arcade. The beauty of this one is it's integrating steering as well as braking.
And I've got a steer, so as I steer, if I go hard right, you can go, see, goes faster, left like this. Get some more wattage in here. Yep. And you can't forget to steer. Like, it's one of those things that used to like the Zwift world. And let me get in my big ring here. And okay, I guess we're not going to big ring today. Sorry about that.
So head over to Ray's channel and check that video out. Staying with indoor cycling now, and Sufferfest have just announced and released their brand new e-racing tailored programs. According to Cycling Weekly, pro coaches at the Sufferfest have designed a new training suite with sessions tailored for the demands of virtual bike racing. I personally have never used Sufferfest. A lot of people love it, and it was kind of one of the first training platforms that was out there for specifically for indoor training sessions. From what I've seen of it, it looks like it's tapping into the motivational aspect of racing. So they're using footage of epic climbs, epic races, epic moments throughout history of cycling to try and give the rider who's watching it some inspiration and some motivation to really kick in and dig and work hard for their training sessions. And obviously the training programs are planned out by professional coaches as well. So not only are you getting good quality training, you're also getting visually stimulated by cyclists. And while we're on the subject of indoor cycling, how can we not mention Zwift? Zwift Classics took place on the 3rd of July, which was yesterday, the first of the women's races. The 10th of July is going to be the men's race. And did anybody see it? I mean, I've watched it back, but I didn't watch it live. For me personally, this was the best part of the stream for me.
Computer says no.
I'm kidding, of course I'm kidding. However, I did watch the last K and check this out. 500 metres to go, Mary Wilkinson hits that power up. Now, because it's summertime and I don't have any interest of riding indoors when it's this sunny, I've not actually experienced this ghost power up, but from looking from the outside on the actual stream, what on earth were they thinking with this ghost power up? You see Mary Wilkinson hitting it there from about 500 metres to go, but you can still see her. Now, I don't know if that's because we're in fan view, but we're fan viewing somebody else. But she turned transparent. If we were in Premiere Pro, she'd be like 10% opacity, maybe 15%. So she's there or thereabouts, you can just about see her. And she's got a massive ghost icon above her head. And her name is still on the rider list on the right-hand side of the video. So you can actually see, even though she might have disappeared, you can still see she's putting out watts. So what's it matter whether you can see her or not? If you can see, no one cares where the avatar is. They're looking for them orange numbers when it gets down that close. They can do better than that. They can do better than that. And they should do better than that. 3 days to go now to the Tour de France, and this week often flares up controversy within the teams in the Tour de France. And the team in the middle of the eye of the storm when it comes to controversy this year is Bahrain-Merida. According to this report from The Guardian yesterday, Bahrain-Merida cycling team used to sportswash, campaigners are saying. Sportswashing is a term coined by Amnesty to describe repressive regimes sanitising their country's reputation by becoming associated with sports appeal. The Tour de France and other cycling competitions offer all sponsors weeks of coverage with logos worn by great athletes in some of the world's most spectacular locations. In a letter under the umbrella of Sports and Rights Alliance and led by Bahrain Institute of Rights and Democracy, the signatories claim that the team, led by the 2014 Tour winner Vincenzo Nibali, is a vehicle for Bahrain's government to sportswash its appalling human rights abuses. As a cycling news show, I feel like we have to actually include that story. However, this goes way more into the realms of politics and government than it does actual cycling. So I'm just going to park that one just over there and move on with a smooth transition. So a couple of days ago now, we announced that Mark Cavendish wouldn't be riding for Team Dimension data at this year's Tour de France, and that's not the only news to come out of the team this week. Mark Renshaw announces he will retire at the end of the season, aged 37. The Australian has played a huge role in the success for teammate Mark Cavendish. In a statement released this morning, Renshaw said, "After 16 years, I'm proud to announce that 2019 will be my final year as a professional road cyclist. Looking back on my career, it's very gratifying to know the individual's successes, as well as being a major component in victories for my teammates. Being a key part of these victories has certainly been a career highlight and motivated me to perfect the role of a lead-out rider." Cavendish and Renshaw first teamed up in 2009 at Columbia HTC and have had phenomenal success together, with Renshaw contributing to 19 of the Brits' 30 Tour de France wins. Moving away from professional cycling now, as Londoners record highest cycling volume since records began. Recent figures released by Transport for London have shown that cycling has seen its greatest growth in the city since records began. Planners put that increase down to new infrastructure, in particular segregated cycleways, which they've also said improve riders' perception of safety. In 2018, we saw an average daily volume of cycling of over 4 million kilometres, representing an increase of 5%. In the final quarter of 2018 into 19's financial year, trips were up 4% over the previous year. Talking of Londoners, and check out the link in the description down below to this video, Cycling Pulse headed out onto the streets of London to ask them what they knew about cycling.
What is this?
Cycling shirt. Yellow jersey to France.
Cycling top. Cycling top.
Cycling top.
Tour de France? I don't know what the name of the vest is though.
So if you want to check out everybody else's answers to that question, then follow the link in the description down below. Right, you know me. I kind of say it how I see it. Jesper sent me a link to this news story from Velo News and a question and answer with Lizzie Deignan. Said it was a good one. I thought I'd check it out. I'm going to have to disagree with him. Follow the link in the description to check this one out, but it seems like whoever's asking these questions is it's got a vendetta against women or pregnant women or something. Check these questions out. Velo News asked her, "Are you getting tired of all this motherhood and baby talk yet?" Like it's a bad thing that whoever's been writing these questions clearly has never had a child. Well, they don't love their children. The media is talking about you and your comeback as though you're the only mother in the peloton or pro sports, but you're certainly not the only one. All right. So, off the top of my head, there's Lindsay Goldman, Olga Zablinskaya, and Kristin Armstrong in the years past. And like Lizzie says, yeah, there are, calm down, but it's still very unusual to see that. I don't know, these questions just feel patronising to me. It could be the way I'm reading them. Maybe it's just the time of the month, I don't know. Anyway, go and check out the interview. Some of the questions are patronising, I think. Some of them are good. It's well worth a read anyway, because I really like Lizzie. She's a good, solid Yorkshire lass with a lot to say. A lot of good stuff to say. Moving across to Instagram now, and how has Geraint Thomas been preparing for this year's Tour de France? Well, it appears he's been getting absolutely shit-faced on his new beer. There he is there, holding up his brand new G beer, which has been made by Brains Brewery. Now, the launch of this beer wasn't without controversy, because it says, according to the Cardiff News, that during the launch of this beer, Geraint Thomas drank a whole keg and was then seen running down Cardiff High Street naked, urinating over everybody, shouting, "Drink my beer, drink my beer." In one sense, it's amazing that he has his own beer, but terrible in the fact that he can't even drink it until he's finished the Tour de France. Imagine that, having your own beer. In fact, leave a comment down below. What would my beer be called? If Brains Brewery was to make Chris Pritchard a beer, what would it be called? Leave your answers down below. Sticking with Team Ineos, and G's teammate Chris Froome is obviously feeling very left out as everybody prepares for the Tour de France this week. He took to Instagram and posted this picture. "Hello everyone, look, don't forget about me, I'm still here." Now for you conspiracy theorists, let's delve into this picture and see what absolute utter rubbish we can come up with. Well, first and foremost, he's wearing a watch on his left arm. I don't know about you, but I wear one on my right arm, so is that a sign? Is that what the Illuminati do? I don't know. Behind him he's got some remote controls and buttons and screens. One looks like the bed control, and what's the other one? Is that red button the button for the blood bag? And obviously he's got the lion there. Maybe the juice is hidden in the lion. I don't know. But what I can see from that is he's wearing a white t-shirt, some very short shorts, and he's showing a little bit of thigh. And it also looks like he's dyed his hair. So take that, run with it, conspiracy theorists, and thank me later. There you go, and don't forget now, only 3 days to go to the Tour de France. We're on Thursday, we've got Friday, wait, it starts on Saturday. Today's Thursday, then Friday, then it starts. So it's not 3 days to go, it's 2 days to go. 2 days. Why didn't anybody tell me down below? I've been telling you for the last 3 days now, and I'm a day behind. It just proves that you lot don't listen to me. 2 days to go now to the Tour de France. We've just won a day, perfect. 2 days to go now to the Tour de France. Make sure you hit that like button if you've enjoyed the video. If you've not, feel free to hit that dislike button. Always leave your comments down below, no matter what they are, whether they're relevant or irrelevant to what we've been talking about today. Leave them down below. Hit that subscribe button and then hit that notification bell if you've not done already. If you've done it already, don't even think about going anywhere near it. See you tomorrow for another show.